For 5 years, he didn't move. Not for storms, not for snow, just the hope that one day his soldier would return. And then, the unthinkable happened. The day he left. The sound of boots on gravel was the last thing Marley remembered that morning. The final look in Adam's eyes, the soft pat on his head, the words, "Be a good boy. I'll be back before you know it." But Marley knew better. He wasn't just a dog. He was Adam's shadow, his confidant, and his quiet protector. Ever since Adam rescued him as a puppy from a rain-soaked alley 3 years ago, they'd been inseparable. Adam was a soldier, young, brave, and like many others, full of unspoken fears when orders came. Deployment to a faraway desert. No return. Date only hope. Marley's ears twitched that morning. He sensed the shift, the tension in the house, the hugs, the tight smiles his mother gave Adam at the door. Then came the moment he dreaded. The gate closing behind the man he loved most. Hours passed. Then days. But Marley didn't move. He sat by the rusted gate with the peeling white paint, eyes fixed on the long road beyond the fence. He refused. Food the first night, the second. He barked at birds and chased away stray cats, but he didn't leave the gate. Neighbors watched. Children stopped to pet him. Some thought he was lost. "He's waiting," Adam's mother would say, holding back, tears, "for my son." And every evening, just as the sun dipped and shadows stretched long across the yard, Marley would perk up, ears tall, tail thumping. Footsteps? No, just the wind again. But still he waited. The war had just begun. But Marley's battle was at home, a war of waiting. The seasons that changed nothing. Winter hit hard that year. Frost glazed the windows and the old gate creaked from the cold. Marley, now thinner, with patches of snow on his back, still refused. To move from his post, Adam's letters came once a month. His mother read them aloud in the kitchen, her voice trembling with every line. He never forgot Marley. "Tell him I miss his goofy tail and those muddy paw prints on my boots." But Adam didn't know what Marley had become. He was no longer the bouncy dog who chased tennis balls. He had become a sentinel, a silent guard of the gate. The years crept by slowly. Year 2. Marley limped from a fall, but even the vet couldn't keep him inside. Year 3. A neighborhood girl, Sophie, began feeding him secretly when he refused meals again. Year 4. The grass around the gate wore thin, turned to dirt. Marley's fur grayed and his eyes began to cloud, but he never turned his head from that road, and every night just before the last light vanished behind the hill, Marley still stood, watching. One afternoon, Adam's mother opened a new letter. This, one short. Too short. Her face went pale. It simply read, "Tell Marley, I might not be coming home." She folded it and cried on the kitchen floor. Marley heard her, but didn't move. He didn't understand the words, but he felt the weight in the air, the way sorrow clung to every breath. But he stayed, waiting, because dogs don't understand giving up. The stranger at the gate on the 5th summer. Everything changed. Marley no longer barked. His body moved slow, arthritic. His hearing had dulled, but the gate still called to him each morning and he answered. That day, a stranger came walking down the road. He wasn't in uniform. His hair was longer, beard wild. He limped slightly, dragging a suitcase behind him. He was thinner, sunburned, a shadow of a man. No one recognized him, except Marley. The dog stood, legs shaking, eyes wide. Then, in a burst of strength unseen, in years he ran, barking, crying, screaming without words. The stranger dropped the bag. Marley? It was Adam. The doctors had said he might not remember. They were wrong. He'd been captured, gone missing, declared lost. But he never stopped dreaming. Of home, of the gate, of Marley. Adam dropped to his knees as Marley collapsed into his arms, tail wagging furiously, tongue licking away the salt of years. Neighbors watched from windows. Sophie gasped. Adam's mother screamed and ran barefoot down the path. Marley cried, a sound like no other. The war had ended. The waiting had paid off. And then, something happened. That night, Marley didn't move after Adam carried him in. He curled at the foot of Adam's bed, and for the first time in 5 years, he closed his eyes peacefully. But the story wasn't over. Not yet. The gate. Without Marley, morning light streamed in gently. Adam stirred, groggy. Then he noticed. Marley hadn't moved. He called his name. Nothing. Adam touched him. Still warm. Peaceful. Still not gone. Tears fell before words came. Adam clutched Marley's body and sobbed like a child. The vet said his heart just gave out. Too much time. Too much waiting. He had held on. For Adam. And only let go when his soldier finally came home. The town wept. The newspaper ran the headline, "The dog who waited 1,689 days." A small statue was placed by the gate. Not grand, just simple. Marley's favorite spot, captured in bronze. Adam visited every day. He became a public speaker, not about war, but about loyalty. About what it meant to wait, to love without conditions, to believe when no one else would. He told Marley's story across Europe, in schools and halls, always ending with the same words. He didn't know if I'd come back, but he waited anyway. One day, a young boy left a letter at the statue. It said, "I want to love like Marley did." Years later, Adam grew old, but he never left that house again. The gate was kept clean, painted fresh every year. Flowers surrounded the statue. And every evening, just as the sun dipped behind the hill, Adam would look up the road. No one was coming now, but he understood. Sometimes the one who waits the longest becomes the one we remember the most.